send it to me and make that connection with me. It's not as good as a real hug, but you know what? I'll take it. And the fact that someone even took the time to me sends that message, and that helps overcome that feeling of disconnectedness and isolation. So let's just embrace it. The technology's there. It's ours to use.
Yes. Are you guys okay if Hans comes up for a little bit and says
We
hello?
That
love
would be lovely.
Hans. Yeah.
Hans, I thought you lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. Okay, so I'm feeling relieved. I left him a few messages. He didn't get back to me. Maybe he's having some COVID fatigue as well, or Michael fatigue, which it's been known around the world.
Never.
Oh yes,
No such thing.
talk to my wife.
Bring her on.
She's at
But
work. Go ahead.
There's
Seth.
one thing I do want to bring up though, was not just emojis, but sending GIFs to people. Can I say that on the air, GIFs? Or do you prefer GIF? I'm going to use GIFs because that's how I've always said it. The ability for me to send a bunch of pictures that move to someone. It's like a scene out of Harry Potter. It's amazing. And we had emoticons on those wee little cell phones from back in the day when I was 10. But now when we're looking at these GIFs that get sent out, I can send so much love and humor and sass to the people that I enjoy. And it brightens their day for a little bit. And it just helps to reinforce if I send a funny GIF of a dog who's doing something derpy, then it just helps to brighten people's day as they're looking at that screen for the 8th hour in a row.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, that is again, it's thinking creatively how to add warmth to a piece of technology. A flat screen that on its own really doesn't seem that warm. Like, it's hard to look at the world through a rectangle. But things like GIFs or GIFs, depending on what side of the equation you fall, or emojis, or memes, or videos, or anything. It's like, I almost feel like a kid in a toy store. I have all these tools and toys in front of me, and I can use them in creative ways to connect with people at a time when they really need connection. And Ken is, amazing at it. If you're his friend, you're getting this from him. You're lucky, because that is, again, it's helping us stay connected at a time when, like, I look around me, I'm in a home office all day, every day, and that's hard. This helps break that. And that is, you can't even put a price on it. But that, for some people, is everything. And I think it's up to us to kind of ask ourselves, how are we using the tools to overcome this? How can we be the next Ken? And if we can at least, if we can even do a fraction of what he's doing in this way, we're going to be, helping others. And again, that sort of comes back to my improving the world.
And yes, Donald Brandt, GIF as in GIFT. Yes.
Hans is coming up. Yeah, feel free to talk about the. Here's the thing that kept going in my head the whole time. How many poop emojis do you need? When is one too many poop emojis? Like, do we need thousands of them? Do we need just 4? It was like when I was a kid, you could go to the store and there were 3 types of mustard. Now there's 5,000. Well, not during the pandemic. That's another world. Yeah.
Yeah, but we stand on a beach and look at a sunset. How many words do you need to describe that? I would never want to put a number on that. I wouldn't want to ever put a limit on it. It should be open for us to decide how to describe something. And I think the more the merrier. That's kind of one of the beauties of the human condition, is that it's entirely up to us to sort of figure out how to process something or describe something or explain something. And so, poop emojis, I say bring it. So if we end up with 1,000 different ones, then that's a start.
Okay.
On to the next 1,000.
How about this then? How about Donald Trump emojis? Should we have a limit on that?
Michael.
I'm not going to judge.
Don't go there. Don't go to the dark side. Don't go to the dark side. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Yeah, there you go. I feel like I just took a branch and put it in the back wheel as you rode your bike. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm
like
sorry.
Those playing cards. Got news for you. They slow you down big time. Don't ask how I know.
Really? So listen, guys, we're at 25 minutes. Are we good to keep going for a little longer? Everybody happy? We're
Oh
starting
yeah.
to get some momentum in the comments here. I just want to say hello to a couple of people that just came in. Mac! Oh my God, Mac! I love Mac. Mac works for Infotech, or sorry, did work for Infotech. This last week was her last week. One of my all-time favorite people. I've been begging her to come on. Thank you. I'm not going to beam you up. Relax. She's probably going, what's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? She is very camera shy, but I'm hoping in the future I can get her to do some of her artwork on here where we can see her. She's an incredible artist. And that's the wonderful thing about when you're in a company, you meet so many incredible individuals and they really open your heart. And I've had, in the 6 years that I've been there, I've probably met 800 people, and formed close relationships, I would say, with at least 100. So, and not quite like the ones in this room, guys. Okay. I just thought I would put that out there. I don't want anybody. Okay.
Oh, everyone's special.
Yeah, what a warm, fuzzy. This is very different than the first one we had. But that's the thing. That's the thing with HAPS. Can we talk about some strange subjects? Do you think of one, Carmi, that you're comfortable talking about?
I don't know. I almost lost my dog in the snow yesterday. I don't know.
Okay, well, I know you did. I know you did a video on this recently.
On what? Remind me. I did a lot of videos. Which video?
Okay, you text to people on this app, and it was breached a little bit.
Oh, on WhatsApp. Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
On WhatsApp, yeah. So if you use WhatsApp, you probably got a message a few weeks ago saying that they had updated their privacy policy. And they were now going to be sharing more information with the Borg, the parent company, Facebook. And you had until February 8th to okay the changes. And if you didn't, WhatsApp was going to go dark. And of course, everyone got really upset about that. WhatsApp, of course, bought a few years ago by Facebook, kind of absorbed into the company. But a lot of people use it. And this is what's different about WhatsApp compared to other messaging apps. It uses encryption. And so for a lot of people who live in parts of the world where democracy isn't really a thing, this is how they communicate without having to worry that the government is tapping their messaging. And so now for WhatsApp to basically become this sort of draconian, become more like Facebook, a lot of people took exception to that. And there was a firestorm of controversy online. Eventually, the company backed down from it. They softened their language. But the damage has been done. Millions of people have been leaving WhatsApp. It's the world's most popular messaging app. 2 billion people use it. But millions of people have been dumping it in recent weeks. They're moving to Signal or Telegram. And they're downloading other secure alternatives. And I think it illustrates, and so we did at Infotech, we do a video series called the Infotech Brief. And so we did a video on this. And it's been getting a lot of traction because I think it touches a nerve among people. The tools that you use, A, you want them to be secure. B, you don't want your data to be shared outside of your control. And I think we're becoming increasingly aware of just how important our personal data is and just how profoundly companies like Facebook have been violating that trust. And I think lines are starting to be drawn in the sand. And I think, as the pandemic starts to fade into the background and we start to get back to something of a normal life, we are all going to become infinitely more aware of data and privacy and stewardship and what is fair and what is not, and what is, where those lines need to be drawn, and what happens to companies like Facebook when they cross those lines. And so we did a video on it. It's getting a lot of attention. We're going to keep focusing on it, but it's an issue that's near and dear to my heart because I use these tools and we all use these tools now.
We're going to welcome Hans into the room. Hi, Hans. How are you?
Doing all right.
I'm so glad you're here. I was thinking you were mad at me. I teared up a bit, but I'm okay now. And a couple years of therapy, I should be almost as good as new. Almost. Almost. I don't like when you're mad at me. It makes my sweet soul sad. There you go. If anybody could back me up in the comments, that would make me feel much better.
Actually out in the country was trying to get everything set up to your level of quality and standard. And so I apologize if I break in and out. The bandwidth out here is what you would expect when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, you are, a heightened being, and what's happening right now is you're really transcending into other realms of possibility. So it's not the internet connection, folks. He's going there on a spiritual retreat. I love it there. I hope someday you invite me there. That looks amazing. It looks lost in time, kind of. It really does.
You'll be already there welcoming me when I cross fully over.
So what is the other app that's out right now that everybody's transitioning to, Hans? That we were talking WhatsApp, and then other
one Carmi mentioned, Signal, is getting the most traffic right now, and they're having some growth pains as well. They were not expecting millions of people to sign up per day, so they're having some growing pains as well.
Yeah, well, so for you, when you go there, is it like a different energy for you? Do you feel like a different person when you're there? Like, do you feel like the weight of the world leaves you? I feel calmer watching you there.
Absolutely, yes. Except for the horrible wallpaper from the people who originally built the house. Everything else, just being in the middle of the woods, being able to go outside. I was watching deer graze on the ryegrass we planted for them while squirrels were running around. It's nice to get away from the city and be able to unplug for a day.
Okay, can you give us a topic that we could talk about for the next, say, 5 minutes? And do you have something on the top of your brilliant head that you can think of? Because we were talking about poo emojis and COVID fatigue. What else did we talk about? RuPaul, briefly. I think we have to go swing back around to RuPaul. It's not a business chat without RuPaul.
I really enjoyed Ken's comments and thought he made some excellent points about our communication through memes, cartoons, emoji, and that will probably be a study, and how absolutely the emoji allow us to communicate more complex ideas in simplest terms. Years ago, there was actually a contest for the craziest idea that could be true. And one of the top 10 was the reason China previously had not taken such a dominant form in the world is their whole language structure is based on very complex characters. And they cannot, because it's not a character base, it's a symbol based, they could not use acronyms to communicate complex ideas. Therefore, it just took them too long to communicate. And I think emojis take acronyms to a whole nother plane, but also make it even more complex, trying to know, what did somebody really mean by sending me a shooting star? Are they saying I'm flaming out or brilliant? I have no idea.
I love it. I love that you put that much thought into it. Helen Wallace said something lovely right here, dropping in to say thanks to Hans for all the lovely, helpful advice in my broadcast the other night. So not only you're performing miracles here today, you are all over the globe throughout the internet. Now, how do you replenish that energy after being such a beacon of hope to so many, sir?
Well, thanks, Helen. It was great to drop in your show. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer. And I owe you a message too. Also, for anyone suffering from muscular or sciatica or back pain, look into a simple TENS machine. And then you can Google where to place the pads. That has been a life changer for me to help deal with chronic pain. So for me, I'm forcing myself to unplug and do stuff. So yesterday I helped out a friend who needed to move stuff out of his elderly mom's house. Today, I just was lazy. I was sitting down in a recliner watching the deer, playing YouTube videos until I saw your broadcast was up. And then I was like, well, I need to get my computer set up here. And so part of it today, I'm just going to take the first half of the day and relax and not worry about anything. I'm not going to think about work or try all the things I'm behind on, and just enjoy a beautiful day. You know, we've got some great weather here. So how about the rest of you? What's your secret to unplugging and recharging, considering we have a lot fewer options than we did previously.
Ken, can you go? It's your turn. You ready? Are you feeling alive with possibility? That's all I'm asking. Here you go.
Alive with possibilities. Yes. So at the beginning of the pandemic lockdown, I bought some weights, just some dumbbells. And if I need a break, if I just need that 5 minutes, I'll do some thrusters in the background, log off for a second, do some exercise, go on a walk if I need to. Lately, with all of the snow and cold, I haven't been leaving as much as I could, as much as I should be leaving, and going out on that walk. But even just standing up, doing some yoga, doing some stretches, just really helpful to get that blood flowing again.
Good. Carmi, how about you? What are you doing to keep yourself mentally active, physically fit, and being also, just a person who gives light? And you do. Like, I aspire to be as kind as Carmi. I tell people this all the time. And some people say that Carmi and I are very similar. And someone said that the other day, and I went, "Oh no, he's a far better version of a good human being than I'll ever be." I will never reach those high highs. So, but I felt very honored when this person said that. So I would love for you to just share some of your wisdom with us on how you stay centered and balanced.
First of all, I'm very humbled. But yeah, no, and thank you. I'm speechless for once in my life. I like Ken, I like to sort of get out and get away. So like when the weather is good, cycling is my thing. And what I love about cycling is it can take me far away. It can take me to one of two Great Lakes within an hour to an hour, a couple of hours from my house. And while I'm riding, I'm not checking my phone. I'm not responding to notifications. It's just me and my thoughts and the physics of keeping the bike going. Obviously, I can do that most of the year, but here in Southern Ontario, in Canada, winter, not so much. So now it's walking. I'm also a photographer. So while I'm walking or on my bike, I'll take my camera with me. And I feel the need to tell the story of where I've been and then share it on social media and create conversations there. And so I've been a lot more conscious of that since we went into lockdown, since this whole thing began, because I have the time now to tell stories. And I think it's important that we do. I like looking back at the things that I've shot or what I've written in the past, and it takes me right back to that moment. And I'm hoping that after this is over, everything that I've produced in this period on my walks, on my bike rides, when I've taken my camera with me, I'll be able to look back and it'll give me perspective and hopefully give others perspective. And I hear from others who are going through this as well. They look forward to my photos. They look forward to what I write about this experience. And if it encourages other people to share and connect, then that's a good thing. And it gives me a break, but just as importantly, it helps create that sense of community around words and images and experiences that I think we can all relate to.
So tomorrow, I'm just going to do a little plug, and I always do this, and Hans always looks at me like, where is he going? Okay, so HAPS right now has a challenge on, and if you can be in a scope or a broadcast for more than 10 minutes, and you can have a total 250 views on that, you will qualify. And if you do that for 8 weeks, you'll get $50 cash. There is a slight trickle of weirdness to it. You have to collect at least $200 to get money. So currently, I have sponsors. That's one of the ways that you can make money. You have people who actually sponsor your work. Then you have like what looks kind of like Bitcoin. I call it Bitcoin. It only horrifies people that I call it Bitcoin, but it's coins where you can get money. So if you look right now, I'm 99% of my $100 goal. So once we get past that, we'll go into the $200 goal. And then if you get past that, it gets into 500. But this is an avenue for people to use their brand and shine it across the whole. Like when I go in the morning, I have a morning show every morning from 6:30 to 7:30, Monday to Friday. If I want to do it or not do it, I force myself to do it. And the days that I don't want to do it, guess what? those are the days when magic happens. Like absolutely magic happens. I had a lady come on who does yoga. Her name is Donna, and she's had broadcasts where she's had 32,000 people watch her. 32,000. And then I've had Randy W. Horton come on. So I had Randy W. Horton, who has a huge network, plus her, and no one mentioned me, which is fine. But all I saw was, we love you, Randy. We love you, Randy. We love you, Donna. We love you, Donna. We love you, Donna. It was 1,500 comments in 20 minutes. And that's the power of this format. And the reason being is, simultaneously, you can be running 5 different platforms on here. So any business that's thinking that this is not effective, you're out of your mind. I've been on this now for 40 days. I have, I believe, 116,000 views in that short time. There is not a business that wouldn't want to have that kind of traction worldwide. Please look at Haps. They're not paying me besides this $100 right here. Woohoo! And I do appreciate all the the dimes and the 30 cents and the 50 cents. But to me, it's more about building your brand. And Ken, man, you could shine on here, brother, because you are a unique soul signature. People would love you from all over the world. You could dwarf me in probably a month. But all it takes is just being on at the same time every day. Hans and I are just, we're going to be fading away together in that kitchen, and that's okay. And we've come to grips with that. We'll bake bread together. It'll be beautiful, right? Well, you have to ask your wife, and I'll ask mine too. Okay. So
You're too kind, Michael.
Ken, have you thought about something like this, a platform for you to shine your star, really?
It would be really exciting, and I'm seeing all of the fun you're having with it, and it's truly inspiring, Michael.
Well,
I'm not saying that.
Like right now, okay, you got to remember, it's Saturday morning. There's a million other things to do on Saturday morning. We've already had 154 people. We've had multiple comments here. We don't know what platforms it's on. It's everywhere. So you also have to be incredibly careful on here. The other thing is too, the gods will move the screens around rapidly from time to time. Do not feel afraid. Okay, we're good. Hi, Hans. You're now on the top. That's where you belong. Okay.
Today's internet is brought to you by DSL. DSL reminding you of what dial-up was like.
So Ken, I mean this like wholeheartedly, buddy. You've put your foot, your toe in the pond, and it won't happen overnight, but I really see something here for you. And this is more of the intuitive Mike feeling this. And I hope you leap forward with this. Yeah. So does anybody, do you want to read some of the comments there, Hans? Because I can see you typing like a madman. Go ahead.
Well, I was just trying to say hello. There were a number of people who said hello when I joined, so sorry I'm not scrolling through. I had to unplug my keyboard, mouse, and shut almost everything down to join, and even then, thanks to our horrible Windstream 5 meg service, I know I'm cutting in and out, so my apologies. You all deserve better. And then I was just trying to... I was also just typing up the information about the TENS, which is basically electroshock, but you can use it to basically slightly burn out your nerves so you don't feel the nerve pain, or to continuously flex the muscles to get them to loosen up if you have a tight area. So that's been something that's really, when you think about sitting in front of a computer for 6 to 10 hours a day, you're going to get sore. And I don't have Ken's diligence to actually stretch and work out. I'm not that responsible. So I use electrotherapy instead.
Okay, not electric shock therapy.
I probably could use that too. It might fix my personality a little.
Okay. I just want to make sure that people know that that's not what we're talking about. So listen, at the end of the show, because we're near the end here, we're coming up to 45 minutes. I would like everybody in the room, you can take as long as you want or as little as you like, just to talk about gratitude. We always talk about gratitude at the end of my shows. So I would love to start with Carmi, the person I want to be someday. Go ahead.
Every morning I take a moment to remind myself that no matter what situation you're in, there's always someone around you who is worse off than you. Whenever I feel tempted to, lament my fate, I realize just how blessed I am. I focus on the things that I have versus the things that I do not. And I realize that I do lead quite the charmed life. And I think if all of us look at our own lives, we'd recognize in them some facets of let's call it blessedness. We've been gifted with things that other people can only dream of. And it's something that I grew up with. My parents instilled that in me. That rather than constantly striving for more and not really understanding or appreciating the context, we should be thankful for what we have and look around us and ask, how can we help others achieve the same? I'm a pretty simple guy. That outlook is as simple as that, and it helps ground me because then I don't feel stressed, about the things that I cannot control. And instead I'm focusing on, the things that I have, and I'm thankful for it, and I can appreciate them that much more. And I think as hard as this period in history is, I think it's proven to us that, we need to do more to be thankful for what we have and not worry so much about anything else.
Okay. Well said. Touche. Ho ho. Woohoo. All right. Ken, are you open to coming up? Hans is now lost in another dimension there. I think.
So I turned my camera off because it's eating all the bandwidth. So
Yes.
I'm still here. Just
Yes.
picture me as someone more attractive, like
Yes.
maybe a Dean Cain Superman, or
Brad Pitt.
maybe Gloria Stefan,
Yes.
whatever's attractive to you.
Gloria Stefan. We'll have to go deeper on another show. Why you brought that up? Is this okay? Ken, please tell us what you're grateful for in this moment in time.
So I started off the show talking about how connections are important to me. And when I'm having a bad day, I need to feel that connections and the warmth from the connections from the people around me. So what I've done is all of the letters I've gotten from my friends over the years, I've put in this cute binder that has a dog and a bow tie. And it's always helpful just to read through some of those messages, read through some of the warm feelings that I've gotten from friends in the past. And it's a very healthy alternative to always looking at Instagram and comparing myself to the wonderful curated garden images that everyone has on there. And it's just that warm connections from times past.
Okay. Hans, from the background and in the image of Gloria Estefan, I will visualize, what are you currently grateful for, my friend?
Well, I love Ken's approach. That's wonderful. If I get friends or they write me, I might consider that. So I'm going to kind of run a little bit parallel, because there's been two incidents that I was following over the end of this week, one of which we've all seen, which was the pump and dump stock scheme that's been plaguing GameStop and a couple others, where group people are participating in really pumping up stocks to short sell them or dump them. And right now it's causing some really severe impacts to other parts of the market as well. And so I'm grateful that I have absolutely no inclination to gamble or to try and get rich quick, and really would warn people to be careful, because if something is too good to be true, it often is, or will hurt you longer as time goes by. And I think a lot of the people who have been participating in those forums are going to find themselves with heavy fines or in jail for insider trading and stock manipulation. And they absolutely should be. So be careful if you see something that looks great, like Bitcoin jumped up and now people are losing hundreds of millions of dollars because their hard drive crashed. So be careful. There really is no substitute for hard work, and be prepared to take advantage of whatever opportunities come. Michael turned me on to Haps. It was the kick I needed to start broadcasting and getting some of my guides and messages out, and I'm trying to get more frequent with it. So I'm just glad that I understand it's going to take a bit of work to get where I want to go, and I'm not going to try and shortcut that and sell myself and everyone else short. And there's nothing behind Gloria Stefan. It just came up. I was like, well, why should I have to be a man if people wanted to be attractive? She just popped into mind.
No fascination at all. No posters.
Great talent. Nope. Never been a fan.
Nothing. Never. No, me neither. Okay. There you go.
And Michael, you? What's this hour's gratitude?
Well, I'm really grateful for some of these lovely comments here. So I'm going to go to these comments. First of all, Luke MC, who is a good friend of mine from Windsor, said he's high on the endorphins again. So I'm not too sure who's high on the endorphins, but thank you so much. This one is way beyond me. I'm hoping the brain power of this room will be able to understand this and maybe you can read it as well. How to manage digitalization, transformation, pressure from the management due to this crisis. Should I read that again?
I can take that.
All right, do it.
Hey, that's what I do. So, in essence, our companies are, because we lost physical locality and now we have a distributed workforce, a lot of the things we used to be able to do by popping our head and gophering over a cubicle, we now have to do through tools. So we need to really look at how tools can improve and replace personal interactions and manual processes so that we can be more efficient, especially when perhaps for some companies they've lost an incredible amount of their revenue. The best place to start is with your processes. The automation is automation of processes. So you basically have three pillars to your capabilities: people, processes, and tools. You've got the people. So what you need to do is figure out, what are my key processes? What is all the waste? What is all the steps, everything that I can get out of the process first, because you don't want to put unneeded processes into a tool. Then look at what's left and say, if I used a tool, can I automate anything that doesn't require a human to make a decision? And then find a tool set that is right-sized for those processes and can grow with you. There's no need to get the most expensive or the most complicated. That can actually hurt. Find one that is designed for your type of business or your scale of business, but work with your BAs, business analysts, work with your business architects, and streamline your processes first. Then tools are enablers of your process.
Okay, I have yet another comment here, folks. You guys okay? You don't need to go anywhere. You don't have hot dates or anything like that. We're good. We're good. Everybody's good. All right. You're not saving any small villages. Nothing. We're good. Okay. Yes, comics are coming back. Also, even for more serious stuff, new ways to present your research to public. What does that mean? Does anybody want to take that one?
I take it as just using the tools that we have in creative ways to connect more effectively. So, you've got something to say, you've got an audience. How do you reach them better than you might have otherwise? And we're seeing all sorts of experimentation going on now, and I think we're figuring out those ways slowly but surely, and sometimes fitfully. But this is a bit of a golden age when it comes to communication, and so I think that the message here is keep trying. Like, don't not throw something out there. Some things will stick to the wall. Most won't. Sometimes it'll look a little bit ugly, but this is the time to do that. This is the time when people expect the dog to be walking into a video because we're all stuck at home. So give it a try, and don't worry about people judging you because it didn't quite work out the way you thought it would be. Try new ways to connect with people and see what works for you. And really don't worry about being judged. We're all in the same boat.
I totally agree. Go ahead, buddy.
Try different platforms as well. I have to substitute a lot of my ways of communicating was at conferences, speaking at around the US and Canada, and I've done virtual events, but it's not the same thing. So I decided that everything I did, I wanted to publish for free on my website, ekmanguides.com, so that it was available to people. And instead of having to write long email messages, I could just send them a quick link that says, hey, here's something that might help you. And then the next step of that was, all right, I'm going to use some of these other channels. So LinkedIn for professional communication is a phenomenal place to publish articles, research, tips that is related to your career and career development. I set up a business Facebook page for things like the HAPS broadcast and things that cross over a little bit. And then I keep my personal life completely separate and actually continuously delete it. So anything on the personal nature, I run no more than 4 weeks of content before it's automatically deleted. But everything that's professional, I'm pushing out to a number of channels, because it's not up to me to decide where somebody wants access to that. I need to make it available in the format that they want to. So I'm going to push it out there and see where people consume it, and then try and focus on optimizing where most people are trying to access that content.
Someone made a comment. I found it interesting. They said in 100 years there will be no colleges. Do you believe that to be true?
Yes, because we'll all be gone.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, thank
sorry.
you for that. Thank you, everyone.
Global warming Saturday.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, let's talk about.
I think it's
global
possible.
warming. Let's talk about global warming then. If it, or does someone want to bite on the college thing? Do you think the way that people are being taught will change?
Well, I say this as I taught at a college level for a few years, and my wife is a teacher, and I think that sort of education as we know it today is going to look very different in 100 years. And so the concept of a centralized institution where you have a bunch of rooms where people gather around to listen to one person pontificate, a unidirectional model that ends when you regurgitate your knowledge on an exam at the end of the semester, that cannot keep up. I think it's been woefully inadequate for years, and I think the pandemic is illustrating just how behind the curve that is. So I think we'll always obviously have a need to learn and advance our knowledge, but whether it's in the form of a college or a university such as we have today, either they evolve to that need and find new ways to impart knowledge and sort of contribute back to society, or they'll be replaced by something that does.
Yeah, the function of universities is not to educate and it is not to teach. The core function of a university is to research and to gather knowledge and to document that, to identify new information and to just push the barriers on human knowledge. That's always going to be there. But will that education aspect change? We're already seeing it change with the pandemic. There's a news article in the Globe and Mail, I believe, about Concordia University course where the professor who's teaching that course through online videos died a couple years ago. It's completely changing. The pandemic is completely changing how people are educated. Online education, online video courses is becoming much more popular, and we can only expect to see that continue to evolve and change. And I'm very excited to see how that happens over the next 100 years.
Interesting. Okay, so education, is it going to be as important as it is now in the future? Are companies going to more go with your academic scores in the sense of what your ability is? Because some of the great inventors right now, they're not that impressed by degrees anymore. They want hustle, and they want you to be a free thinker. If anything, they're afraid to have people that have already been programmed. They would rather have fresh tools.
I'm certainly hoping for a shift, and some individuals have been calling this for a while, which is focusing more on critical thinking, logic, soft skills, leadership development, and financial literacy. So some of the core skills that translate across really any profession, and then really stratifying our education based on where someone wants to go. We need more trade skills. We need more technicians. And right now, our university system largely, other than tech schools, doesn't address this. And I think that's a big shortfalling. Mike Rowe constantly talks about the problem where Caterpillar alone, I think, has a 20 to 30,000 job shortage for people who are technical, highly technical repair people for their equipment, because each tractor, each piece of equipment is now a real computer. And so I'm hoping that we'll see more focused programs related to what people want to do, like broadcasting. You're getting into more of a broadcasting trade school or social influencer, whatever it happens to be in the future.
Well said. Well said. Okay, guys, we just smoked past an hour. Woohoo! We did it.
Yay!
Look at that. And I felt like we talked about not much. So-
Au contraire, mon ami.
The what did everybody do gratitude? I did, or did Hans squeak through
I did. I was grateful that I'm not
doing gratitude?
chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and I'm willing to put in the work and effort to get where I want to go.
Okay, it looks like we lost Ken there for a second. He's now become an ascended being.
Issues.
You have issues. I have issues. That's the next show. That'll be the health show. We'll talk about our issues. That's for sure. I like this comment here, and I would love to end it with this, guys, if you don't mind. Martin Shine, he says, "Hi, Michael Bathurst. He lives in England. Thanks for the broadcast and sharing it with us." And he briefly talked in another comment about it's very important to always consider being supportive, be it a like, a share, even if you give 10 cents, a kind word. We need to support each other on multiple levels. And today, I thought this broadcast flowed so beautifully. And we had so many different types of people in the broadcast. And yet, there was a common respect. And even in the comments, it wasn't Looney Toony at all. Drew Shepard, thank you for being here. He's part of Hat's team. I also noticed that we had a few other people. Ken says, "I'm leaving. I've now entered into a new realm of possibility, and I'm joining my Palladian brothers." Well, there he is. Oh, so I thought mine was better. Yeah. Do you want to say goodbye, Ken?
Thank you for inviting me on again, Michael, and thank you for the conversation, Carmi and Hans. This has been wonderful. Thank you, everyone, also who's in the comments sending us messages. I love the warmth and the interaction and the energy.
The other thing I want you guys to remember, too, is if you can, share this. This is a new thing for us, the business show, especially on Saturday. Sunday is more of our groove, but I'm open to doing them whenever. And Hans is doing content on his own all the time. I keep prodding this Carmi guy beside me here to do his own. I'm hoping that he will, because he has so much to share with the world. And that would be a great day if that happened. I'd also like to say hello to Kelly, who is a very close friend of my family's. Thank you so much. With much love, I wish you all well. Have a wonderful week and keep shining your light in the darkest places. Take care. Thank you so much.